Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this video, we are to learn the different systems of measuring angles in trigonometry. The first system is degrees, the one you commonly know. We are to divide a circle into 360 equal parts, and each part we say is 1 degree. We find a right angle, 90 degrees, straight angle, 180 degrees, and one revolution angle as 360 degrees. One revolution angle is 360 degrees. We are to look at another system where we are to measure the angles in terms of the radian. Radian comes from the word radius. We are to take the length of this radius and we are to bend it and wrap it around the circumference. You should see that the length that you wrapped on the circumference is now opposing an angle, and I would like to denote this as theta. Then we say the angle theta that is being opposed by the length of one radius is 1 radian. My question to you is, how many radians are there in one revolution? In other words, I'm asking you, how many pieces of the radius do I need to wrap around the whole circumference? We should get the expression like this: the circumference of the circle, denoted by c, divided by the length of the radius, that is r. In other words, this c can be rewrite as 2 pi r, and I believe you can cancel the r and r, leaving you 2 pi. Therefore, we say that one revolution is equal to 2 pi radian. And remember, we had one revolution is equal to 360 degrees. We are to equate one revolution to one revolution. In other words, 360 degrees is equal to 2 pi radian. We are to divide both sides by 2 to remove the 2 that is attached to pi. Ultimately, we should get the equal equation as 180 degrees is equal to pi radian. This is the conversion we are to use when we are converting degrees to radians or radians to degrees. We are now to convert radian into degrees. Why am I saying that this is radian? It's because whenever you see pi, then we assume that this angle is measured in radian. We can just ignore the RAD. So let's try to convert that into degrees. So first of all, let's recall our equal expression. So you have 180 degrees is equal to pi radian. Let's just ignore the radian. If we are to convert that into degrees, the technique of conversion is to multiply by 1. Since 180 degrees and pi radian, they are the equal expression of one another, we are to use one expression divided by another to perform the conversion. The question is now, which number should I put on top and which at the bottom? So if you are to convert radians to degrees, remember, if you see that this pi is on the top, you always put the other pi at the opposite to that. The reason is this: you can easily cancel the pi and you put 180 degrees on the numerator. Let's now perform the division. Pi divides with pi, leaving you 180 degrees over 6. So I believe they both can be divided by 6, leaving you 6 as 1, and 180 degrees as 30 degrees. You have converted pi over 6 into degrees, that is 30 degrees. Moving on, we are to look at 7 pi over 5. And now let's determine the place in which we are to put pi. and 180 degrees. If you see the pi on the numerator, you put it on the denominator so we can eliminate the pi. And you put 180 degrees on the numerator. Pi eliminates with pi. 5 can be divided with 180 degrees. That gives you 36 degrees. And 7 multiplied by 36 degrees should give you 252 degrees. The last, we have 3 pi over 4. You are to put pi in the opposite of the pi on the numerator to eliminate pi, and 180 degrees. Pi eliminates with pi. 4 can be cancelled to 180 degrees. So if you are to divide 180 degrees by 4, you should get 45 degrees. 3 times 45 degrees should get you 135 degrees. We are now to convert degrees into radian. 180 degrees is equal to pi radian. Let's look at the first question. 90 degrees, you are to convert that into radian. So the first question is, which expression, 180 degrees or pi, you are to put in the opposite of the 90 degrees? The answer is the expression that has the same units, degrees. So you are to put 180 degrees in the opposite of the 90 degrees, and on top you put pi. The reason is this: degrees eliminates with degrees, and 90 eliminates with 180, leaving you 1 and 2, and you should be having pi over 2 left as your answer. Next, you have 135 degrees. And remember, since there is a degrees on the numerator, you are to put the term with degrees at its opposite, so 180 degrees at the opposite and leaving pi. If you are to simplify 135 and 180, degrees eliminates with degrees. 135 can be reduced to 3, while 180 can be reduced to 4. They can both be divided by 45. That gives you the final solution as 3 pi on the numerator over 4. And you are to put the 180 degrees in the opposite, while pi on the numerator. Degrees cancels with the degrees, and 480 and 180 can both be divided by 60. So that leaves you 8 and 3. Ultimately, you should get your answer as 8 pi over 3. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe.